And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome. You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say.
Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to Koi Plays Tarot. My name is Koi. I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. What we're looking at, and also, happy birthday. We are still in your season. What we're looking at right now is the career reads for the month of September, right? Our investments, what could be new on the horizon, where we want to put ourselves into, put our energy, time, labor, effort, etc. into, and what can be had out of it, right? As a preamble to my reads, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. Because at times, even if the conversation's tough, I as your tarot card reader would never try to either belittle you or shame you around any of those issues, right? We come to tarot for honest readings. Honesty doesn't always have to be pretty, but it also doesn't mean that we have to be hateful and spiteful while saying it, right? I would never try to do that to you or any of the collectives. So with that being said, follow along with me today as we look towards your career read in the month of September. Let's see what the cards say. Show us the cards that we need to see, please, for Hermit, for Virgo. Why I said that, you guys are represented by the Hermit. And I think this, if I'm being called to talk about this, then yeah, let's do it. Because normally I will always start off with the sign itself, not its representation. The Hermit is the healer, one who trusts their wisdom, but also understands that they have the tools within their toolkit. That's why Virgos are very much disposed to being, is disposed the right word? We'll get back to that. They're very much put in the position of becoming a therapist. Right? A Virgo is a therapist that's like, boom, bread and butter, right? They just go together. So that's probably why I was being called to say that. And I don't know how this is going to come up in your read today, but let's just say, as your sign, you have the ability to trust your wisdom, and sometimes the answers can be right. Now, let's look at what that means. Show us the cards that we need to see, please. We're looking at past, present, and future for Virgo in their career read, month of September. What do we need to see in a past, present, and future placement? Because again, I may have slip up sometimes, and I know you've seen it before, but to have that blatant slip up where I call your representative card and not your sign, no, you're going to be called to look at something today. In the past, boom. The Fool, the belief in a new beginning. And also it takes some naivety to get there. The belief that the world can change, well, you gotta go for it. Queen of Wands, the desire to embrace, or at least being emotionally open to what that new possibility can represent. The Sun. Oh, so in the past, whatever this was for you, it was one of the brightest things that has happened to you. Right, that Fool and that Sun, and then connecting with that Queen of Wands, pretty much telling an obvious, hey, I'm liking where I'm at. I'm liking the ability to embrace it. This is making me happy, making me feel fulfilled, and I'm believing in new horizons. Every day is new. The sun is still out. It's shining. Okay, fair enough. In the present, show us the present orientation for Virgo in their career read, month of September. What is going on in the present for Virgo in their career read? And that's probably why I was going silent earlier, because I'm like, oh, please don't tell me this goes into suspension. Hangman. Okay, so what are we trying to gain new perspective on? What are we putting ourselves into passive mode for? And the reason being, I'm saying you opened up in the past orientation, Virgo, with, yeah, very strong, light, bright, everything works. And now in the present, well, we're trying to gain a new perspective. How so? The Tower. So as things fall apart, the Hermit, you, card of Virgo, I can trust my wisdom to try to gain new perspective and try to see what's right. And that's what was bothering me. Again, maybe that's why I was being called to detail the specifics of your card at the beginning of your read, because right now that sunshine and rainbows turn into a total house fire when lightning strikes. So why are we trying to trust our own voice and find ourselves again? The new perspective that we're trying to give under Virgo is that we have to. There is a notion of destruction in your current standpoint with whatever it was in the past that brought so much joy. Why is it falling apart for you in the present? Because ultimately the Tower is in our best interest. If we can't get something out the way, guess what? The universe is going to do what's for us with lightning. Boom. Right? And so the new perspective that you're trying to gain is, I don't have the ability to control what is not within my wheelhouse right now. I need to come to an understanding of that. But also, the healing comes from remembering who I am and what I'm worth. So going to that hangman, I'm going to climb that tree, look at an inverted gaze and say, what am I missing here? I'm not missing the house fire. That's totally and absolutely very much visible. What am I missing here about myself? Right? I was once so happy here, and now as everything is crumbling around me, what do I need perspective on? What do I feel that I'm missing? And I need to take the time out to say, hey, where's your voice? Who are you? Okay, in the future, what rests in the future orientation for Virgo in their career reading? What rests in future orientation for Virgo in their career read? In the future, okay, the willingness to try, the Page of Pentacles, the World. We went from such small energy to the highest of all the high. A cycle's closure or a cycle's opening. The Ten of Pentacles. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Oh, I was kind of worried where that was going, but no, this makes sense. So I'm going to talk about this timeline before we get to that future, because I really like it. In the past, because this was an emotional roller coaster. We opened up so strong. This new opportunity, this new beginning of what once was. We wanted to embrace it fully. We saw it as one of the greatest things that ever happened to us. And boom, it's crashing and burning right now. Right? The Virgo that I'm talking to, whatever this opportunity once was to you, is now being revealed as either it's falling apart or it's not going in a direction at all of what you originally had intended and set out for it. And I think what hurts the most is that it feels like you're being robbed when in fact the universe is trying to move it out the way for you to something bigger and better. We'll get to that. And so that's why you're trying to really temper yourself and say, okay, if this is going on right now, the question isn't if it's happening. The question is why. And I need to be comfortable and find it within me to know where I stand in regards to that. Because the destruction is happening regardless. What once brought me happiness is now bringing pain, destruction, and is moving out swiftly. That isn't the question. The question is, where am I going to be when the rubble settles, right? And so in the future, the willingness to try, once we apply that perspective, once we give ourselves the space, the place, the grace to say, hey, I'm ready to look to something new. I'm ready to not give up again. I'm ready to put myself out there again. A cycle completes and opens up the foundation of where we actually want to go, right? Whereas the opportunity was a glimpse, and I think that's a bigger message here. It was a glimpse of what that happiness could be for you. Now the world here, opening up to that Ten of Pentacles, if you got the glimpse of it, you had enough time to look at it. Now, I guess what's being said is, we want you to create it for yourself now. We're moving all this out the way because it ultimately was not useful for you anymore, Virgo. And now we're saying, okay, you saw what you liked. And now that we're moving that out the way, What can you build with that? Again, beautiful intention, even if it's not the most funnest right now. Underneath it all, 10 of Cups, harmony and synchronicity, right? These cards shine so brightly, but if I turn the light down any lower, it becomes hard to see across the board. We'll try that in a different read. Not to worry right now. But 10 of Cups, harmony and synchronicity, that ultimately what is right for me can never just pass me by. And so that comes with the good and the bad. The good, okay, this was an opportunity I so much wanted and wished for. Then it fell apart, destroyed, and I'm left to find who I am in the present and the future. Well, if I said that I like this so much and I'm finding who I am right now in the future, who says that I can't build that for myself? I've already known why I was attracted to it in the first place. Now, well, if we finally accept that the final ember of that tower moment burned out, then all we're left to be is ourselves. And once we do that, once we get into full harmony with what that means, we can build the life that we want to from the messages we received. That's very beautiful. I like that. I know you're probably looking at me right now like, Corey, that doesn't make it any less, annoying, but it is where it's at. And if we keep going on the pathway of trying to find where we stand in regards to it, loud and proud, we can also say, hey, it's doable. It is very much doable. So, cards of connection, real connective energies, please. The bridging gap between all time-based orientations located here in the read for Virgo in the career. First, we look to the space that rests between what was and what is. What rests between past and present orientations for Virgo in their read. 3 of Cups. Okay, the reunion or emotional harmony with others. 4 of Pentacles, something you found worth in, something you want to invest into and hold on to. King of Wands. Oh, how do we make the good times keep rolling? And so putting that together, what I'm seeing between the past and present, it wasn't just, the opportunity in itself. It was the people around you, Virgo. You really liked your team. I'm very much getting cooperative measures here, right? The notion of reunion on a career or job site and something that you wanted to hold on to when you start to meet these other people authentically. Between your past that had such a bright opening and it made you realize, no, I really like these people, or I really like working here, or I really like doing this because it gives me an opportunity to make these connections. Now the opportunity itself is moving out the way and I'm left with the people, right? Did those bridges burn along with this tower moment? And I think that's something you're also looking for. Between the present and the future orientation for Virgo in their career, what is held between what is right now and what could be? Show us the cards that we need to see, please. Virgo in their career read. In the space that lies between. Between present and future orientation. 8 of Pentacles, mastery. Again, this is the tower. Again, I know it's not the best moment right now. And I know there is anger and frustration about how things are going. But it's also revealing, show me what you're made of. Show me all the lessons that you claim that you learned, right? Because if this made you happy and you were left with good experiences, good people, good everything, then just because this fell apart doesn't mean you have to. 8 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, the sharp acceptance of the truth that, this is, right? Whatever opportunity that once brought you so much happiness is coming to a sharp and definitive close. And not the best one, but hey, you're left with you. And I think the Virgo that I'm talking to has an abundance of experience and value in the people that they met that they could push through. The Empress, the highest evolution of the self. One who focuses on productivity and what they can create. And again, towers are not always bad. I know it gets such a terrible rap, especially in tarot, but towers are not always bad because they destroy what is no longer useful for us. Because ultimately, it tells me that amongst all the storms that have happened, this is the one that blew it up, right? So if we think about the longevity or lifespan of a built structure, If it blows up immediately, it was never meant to stand in the first place, right? If this is the moment that blows it up, then let it be the right time that, the tower falls apart because of the lightning strike. Here, okay, we're moving this out of the way for you, Virgo, because you actually are equipped to do what this once provided for you. You may not see it right now, and that's what you're getting that new perspective on with that hangman. What once brought you happiness, you can create for yourself. This is the universe's roundabout way of saying, yeah, no, go ahead. Like, imagine like somebody saying, I don't know how to swim. And then like an older relative like saying, no, you can do it. And then just pushing you into the pool. And then afterwards helping you out along the way when you realize, okay, this is how you move your body to make that swimming work. That's the nicest way I could put what's going on right now. Underneath it all, 10 of Cups, again, harmony and synchronization. It may not feel like it, but the universe is moving the stuff that is not suited for you anymore out of your way so you can do what you're meant to do. It's just not fun. And that's the humor. So, yeah. Define the major arcana strewn across the table for Virgo in their career read, please. Define deeper all the major arcana located here across the table for Virgo in their career. We're going to start here. I was looking at the Fool already, so we'll look at the Fool. Define the Fool here, and we move forward. Okay, to the Fool. Ace of Pentacles. Again, this new opportunity that presented itself from the past perspective, right, Virgo, is saying, hey, there's such solidity here and an offer that is just meant for me. To the Sun, 4 of Cups. Okay, so the dissatisfaction, kind of lifting ourselves out of that, that doom and gloom, that muck of saying, hey, I can invest myself into this properly. This is an opportunity meant for me. And that was the framework of the past. Let's start with the Tower, because again, that was the first thing I saw. 4 of Swords. Okay, again, I want to come back to this last with this 4 of Swords because I think it explains the other parts very well. The Hangman, 8 of Pentacles. Okay, so the perspective, again, trying to remember, we are good enough for this. We know what we're doing. We can do it proper. We can do it right. And to that Hermit, the World. A new cycle begins for you, Virgo. Very bluntly and very clearly. The World pops out again here underneath you. So the cycle closing out, we're trying to remember what we're good at and what we're made for. The reason the Tower came in is because it made you complacent. And that's the nicest and easiest way I can put it. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm calling it like I see it, right? The Tower striking in from that 4 of Swords. 4 of Swords is cards of reprieve, relaxing, and rejuvenation. However, we can't stay in rest mode forever. Now, if we're going to accomplish the things that we know that we're capable of. And so that Tower came in because it's forcing you into a next stage of being like, okay, you're sitting on way too much potential energy right now. Time to make it kinetic. Boom. Right? So you have to move. You have to do these things now because you are kind of meandering and wasting your time and opportunity right now just because of the notion of content. Content and not happiness and fulfillment. Content and, okay, I like where it is right now, so, maybe it could, no. The universe is moving that out the way for you. Yeah, it's not fun, but it is there. To the World, the first one that popped out, 5 of Wands. A conflict come to its end. I'm seeing that as very much the future, because we had the Page of Pentacles towards the 10 of Pentacles. Whatever conflict this was, we're coming to peace with it. We're coming to terms with it. But more so on the notion of competition, reflecting on what all this was, look what it taught me. Going to the 10 of Pentacles, okay, and if a conflict like this arises again, I know how to handle it. Because I'm doing it on my own right now. I'm making the sun pop out. Next, there was one more on the board. The Empress. 8 of Swords. Eight of Swords, a card defined by somebody trapped in an open air cage of swords. Can they climb out? Probably. Will it hurt on the way out? Also, yes. So, putting those two things together, the conclusions that we come to aren't always the prettiest, but maybe, and I think this is a perspective you'll eventually have. You don't have it right now, Virgo. Let's be abundantly clear about that. But the perspective that if you keep going with what you know you're capable of doing and trusting in your wisdom and guidance, the conclusion that you're being drawn to is that, well, it really is left up to me now. Let's make it right. Let's make it happen. Show me what's crossing. Page of Wands, the notion of optimism, being crossed by the Nine of Pentacles, the notion of freedom, that we can build whatever we can to create our own autonomy. And so, yeah, this once gave you happiness, now you can make your own. The universe is very much, that message is loud and clear right now. Resolution, reveal cards of resolution for Virgo in their read. What is held in space of resolution for Virgo in their career read month of September. In resolution, we hold Devil, the card of Capricorn. Okay, I'll get to the other card because I think I know what this is talking about. King of Pentacles. How can we trust properly that this is the right investment? Yeah. We can only know when we see it, right? As things fall apart, Virgo, I'm looking at somebody who, hey, I may not like where it's at right now. Certain things have got to go. Certain things are just not playing out properly. And ultimately, I can't internalize all of that. That is not all my fault because it was not all of my doing. It's moving out of my way for a purpose. What I'm seeing right now, how can I trust that my new venture is right? If I'm saying I'm skilled enough, I know I can do it, then is it the right thing for me? Underneath it all, Three of Cups. Here, the notion of reunion, particularly, again, remembering that team, Three of Cups came out here, harmony, well then, with the new steps headed forward and what it's meant for me, maybe we could call back to some of those people that we met along the way. This is what is right, and this is how we move. So that's why I see in your career read today, Virgo. Again, we started off trying to define your card, which I almost never do in the reads, because again, this is supposed to call upon your placement so that we can get the read going, not necessarily being the place, an overall controller of the table or the field. That's not how I operate with my reads. This is just supposed to be, if you see the card always starting out, it is that sign's representative card in the tarot deck. We started out even by defining that for you, and now we know why. Because what once brought us happiness, the universe is now asking us to create it by our own. And how do we do that? We move what once brought us happiness out of the way. It's a destructive force. And again, life has a funny way of doing that. Very funny. But in the future, yeah, it's very much capable of you building that on your own. Now it's about remembering all the tools, all the connections, all the assets you built along that way to say, hey, if this is what I'm left with, then let me do it right. And let me do it right for me. That's why I got in your career read today, Virgo. Again, happy birthday. This is the reason for your season. And I hope that this conversation helped. Take care, okay? And keep going.